All right, man, last game, Sunday Night Football. New England Patriots pull the upset in Buffalo, 23-20. Congratulations to the 72 Dolphins, because there's no undefeated team this year in 2025. The Eagles lost in the 1 o'clock window. Bills lose. And so you can pop the champagne first week of October. No fear for the 72 Dolphins.
That's such a great gig.
Or the 07 Patriots regular season.
No, they don't get it.
07 Patriot regular
it's
season.
It's just such a great thing for those 72 Dolphins. Like every year they get to have a little party at some point during the season.
Don't know when it's going to hit.
You did nothing anymore. It's just somebody else lost a game.
Could be December, could be October.
Pop the champagne and have a laugh.
Early champagne for Bob Greasy. Patriots move to 3-2. Bills fall to 4-1. It was a fun back and forth game. A little ugly first half, as far as not just because it was low scoring. It was 6-3 in the first half, but it was ugly, like penalty wise, and just sloppy football, fumbles left and right. Like the ball looked like they were playing with a kicking ball, in real football. Slick kicking ball with all the fumbles. But exciting second half, and Drake Maye coming out party maybe for Drake.
Oh, certainly the narrative on Drake Maye is going out of control off the back of that game.
I think it's deserved.
Yeah, he played really well. It was turnovers this game, like total, start to finish. I mean, we come to expect that from New England running backs, and we got it. Rhamondre Stevenson coughs the ball up. Antonio Gibson coughs the ball up on his way to being injured, and unfortunately that looked pretty serious based off his reaction. But the Bills were getting rid of the ball as well. Was it Dawson Knox dropping what looked like a jet handoff for him, which is a curious play call, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the first turnover. Then Rhamondre gives it right back. Then the Bills give it back again with Keon Coleman catching and fumbling the ball. And that sets them up like instant red zone for the Patriots. Robert Spillane stripped the ball there. That was a really nice defensive play. So like between turnovers and some pretty good defense, it's a really low-scoring game in the first half. And you're like, well, eventually Buffalo will get it together and they won't turn the ball over as many times. And if and when that happens, you would assume they win. But the turnovers kept coming. Like this was, they had 26 straight games winning or without losing the turnover margin, right? Josh Dubois tweet again. So this broke that streak, which is the longest streak in the NFL. I think an NFL record. And they were -2 in this game. And that, -2 is enough to get you within range of a team like New England.
What you described, right? So New England at the end of the half, they have this interesting sequence. It's 3-3. It's low scoring because of all these turnovers and everything. And then they've got 4 seconds left. They run a quick play from the 1 to try to just sneak a touchdown in there. Quick play, falls incomplete with 1 second left, and you've got this like
because of A.J. Epinesa, by the way. That was a touchdown. Like he'd ad-libbed it. No, the play before that, he'd sort of ad-libbed. Drake Maye's running to his left, finds Pop Douglas adjusting in the end zone, coming back for that classic like front pylon deal, throws the ball his way, and A.J. Epinesa gets just a piece of it, makes it drop short of him. Then they get the defensive pass interference from Tre'Davious White,
right,
which sets them up at the 1. But like they almost had a touchdown, gets taken away because of A.J. Epinesa, get the defensive pass interference, and then you get that sequence.
So then you got 4 seconds left,
yeah,
and you can go for the touchdown or kick a field goal. They try to go for a quick score, a little quick rollout, pass falls incomplete. Hunter Henry can't get his hands up in time.
Yeah.
He just kind of stumbled on.
He got like ran through a linebacker.
Yeah.
And by the time he kind of gathered himself again, looked back for the ball, it's already on him.
So then New England, as heavy underdogs,
yes,
they kicked the field goal with 1 second left. And it's an interesting decision, right? Like you go back to the Philly special in the 2017 Super Bowl where the Eagles went for it before. And you lose the benefit of if you don't get it, the other team has bad field position.
Yeah.
But you have the opportunity for 7 versus 3. New England took the 3. Oftentimes, as heavy underdogs, that comes back to bite. And then the first drive of the second half, Buffalo drives down, scores a touchdown, 10 plays, 66, and it's like, all right, this is how the game flow tends to go, right? The underdog's hanging in there, and then the better team pulls away and starts to play to their capabilities. But New England answered with a touchdown of their own. I thought that was one of the turning points in the game.
It's why those the aggressive go for the touchdown things are so powerful, because you're like, you go, oh, no, the vibes are still great, getting a field goal, going in with the lead up 6-3 against this Buffalo team. You're like, yeah, but that's erased immediately. Like if you one drive, 10 play, whatever it was, drive for the Bills, and suddenly it's 10-6. And you're like, well, we did nothing then in the first half. It was all a waste of time. Whereas if you went for the touchdown again and got it, well, now suddenly, you're at least, it looks better, right? You've got more margin for error. But yeah, the more impressive in the second half, the Patriots were really good outside of the stupid penalties that they kept committing, which were honestly keeping Buffalo in the game.
So it was 13-6 Buffalo. Patriots drive down. They score the touchdown. So they're just hanging in there. So Buffalo drives back. All right, it's 13-10. We're going to start going back and forth. Josh Allen throw into double coverage, intercepted, and then New England goes up 20-10 with a touchdown of their own. That was one of the turning points in the game. Buffalo, I assume they lost the turnover battle in this one?
Yeah, -2.
Yeah. First time they've lost the turnover battle since the 90s. Just don't do that. You should never do that. You should choose to win the turnover battle. You'll win most of your games. But yeah, Josh Allen played well. Again, some great half scramble, late throws. I mean, just did a lot of cool Josh Allen stuff. But that interception ended up being pretty huge. And again, you keep thinking, all right, they'll have opportunities to come back. And it wasn't in this game. New England's defense cracked down, made some big plays. Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed. So let's change that. Hit that subscribe button. And now let's get back to the action.
Yeah, New England's defense made some big plays, and then Drake Maye made a few really key plays. Stephon Diggs was fantastic in the game. Just did a really good job of being open for his quarterback, which sounds, stupid and simple. But, some of the things he was doing, you're sort of watching the plays, and he's not really doing that much here. He's just being in the right place.
The one scramble drill that he had.
That was a great play, both sides, for him, for Diggs, and for Drake Maye.
So so then Drake Maye made some fantastic throws. I thought early on he was pressing. I thought early on you saw him he scrambled into 2 sacks, at least one.
Yeah.
But scrambled into 2. I was upset at the Next Gen Stats graphic that said Will Campbell had given up a half sack because they were not adding the proper context. Drake Maye had a clean pocket. Will Campbell was blocking his guy. Maye tried to escape, and then they just closed the rush lane. And that's not
his man tackled the quarterback.
Yeah, the guy that Will Campbell was blocking, was it Bosa? Tackled Drake Maye. He did not give up that sack. That was Maye running into it. My point is, second half, though, Maye started to make some throws. Big pass over the middle to Hunter Henry. Beautiful touch. That may have been in the first half. But the final drive.
Yes.
Drake Maye.
Signature drive.
It's 2020. You got just outside of the 2-minute warning. In the very first play, they roll him out. Play should be dead. Bills play the rollout great. They've got Drake Maye. He's getting tackled, and he just barely gets the pass off. Completed, run after the catch, gets you a first down. Saves the game.
Yeah, really does. Buffalo tie it up. It's 20-20. Like you said, outside the 2-minute warning, so the Patriots have a drive to either put points on the board and take the lead, or to, at the very minimum, not let Buffalo get the ball back so that they can try and take the lead and win the game. And first play, he's in trouble. He's basically buried. Defensive tackle has hold of him. And somehow, on the way down, before his knee touches the ground, he doesn't just get rid of the ball, which itself would be a pretty good play. Just getting rid of it and not taking the sack would be huge on first down. Doesn't just get rid of the ball, somehow gets rid of it before he's tackled to the ground, and then somehow additionally actually finds Stephon Diggs for completion, which ends up picking up a first down on the play. And now we're off and running. We've gotten the ball, to our own 40. We're moving. We don't have that far to go to get a field goal, and all is good. Then you have what must be terrifying. You completion to Booty pretty soon after that. And then
Cover 2 hole shot.
Yeah,
which
beautiful
was awesome.
And then you have just the sheer terror that must be calling run plays to Rhamondre Stevenson with the game on the line, needing him to not fumble the ball.
It's a fascinating dynamic with the Rhamondre Stevenson thing, right? So what's that, 3 fumbles now? Which is, or maybe 4. I'm running out of, losing track. It's a massive number for a running back. And not the only person, who's had massive fumble issues through historically, the 2 that come to mind are Tiki Barber
and Adrian
Peterson, who were so good that you had to deal with it.
And even then, they both spent serious amounts of time and effort fixing it.
Yeah. But they were so good, it's all right. Well,
there's stories.
Tiki's awesome. He's one of the best running backs in the league. Adrian Peterson might be the best runner in the league, or probably was, you got to deal with it and just hope it goes away.
Tiki Barber, I'm pretty sure, completely reworked his entire sort of technique and how to hold the football. Adrian Peterson, there's stories of him spending like entire weeks with like the ball, strapped to his arm, and people in the Vikings facility just like punching at it all the way through the day, just to be like, got you this time, right? Like this just seems to be, that's not a problem. It's okay. Like apparently, Chris was saying, they talked to Mike Vrabel about it. It's like, yeah, it's not a problem yet, but it might become a problem if he keeps doing it. And this was before he'd fumbled it in this game. Like, I mean, okay, I get there is something too, fluky, small sample size things happen. Like, does Derrick Henry have a fumbling problem because he fumbled the ball twice in the first few weeks? Probably not. But at some point it becomes a problem, and Rhamondre's had a fumbling problem for a while.
It's a tricky one, right? Because the data person in me is like, well, there's small sample sizes. If you fumble 3 times in 100 carries, you might not fumble 3 for your next 1,000, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want to take the chance to find out.
It's also not. It's not just a this year thing for Rhamondre.
It's not.
This is a guy that's got a career fumbling problem.
Then you have the fact that they've been not splitting carries, but they've got 3 backs between Rhamondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson, and Travion Henderson. Now Stevenson fumbles, then Gibson gets hurt on the kickoff return.
Yes.
And so I'm thinking, well, you might see more Travion Henderson, but they stick with Stevenson. They go back and forth. Travion Henderson had his carries as well.
But yeah, late with the game on the line, it's like, let's give Rhamondre all the carries.
And so he finishes with 7 carries for 14 yards and 2 touchdowns. But I guess my point in this whole thing is he's not as good as Tiki Barber or Adrian Peterson. You don't have to roll with him. He's a fine running back when he doesn't fumble. He's fine. But the Patriots are. It's just an interesting dynamic because I know the fantasy community generally hates when the coach puts the guy in the doghouse because you get that too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you fumble, you're benched. And it's like, well, he's still your best running back. He's still your best option. In this case, I don't know if there's a massive difference between Stevenson and Henderson. I would love to see what Henderson can do with an extended workload. But they stuck with it. And you've got him in a tie game with a couple carries. And obviously he held onto the ball, but it's a bold move by Vrabel sticking with him in crunch time.
It is. I mean, Stevenson now has 17 career fumbles in 744 attempts, right? Derrick Henry has 23 career fumbles in 2,419 attempts, and 3 of them have come this year. So, it's a real fumbling problem for Rhamondre Stevenson that spans multiple seasons. It is kind of interesting that I would have assumed Vrabel would be on the other side of that kind of benefit of the doubt thing. Vrabel, to me, would strike me as the kind of coach that would be like, the second that dude fumbles, lock him away and he's never seen the field again. Instead, he's like, nah, we need Rhamondre. It's not a problem yet. Maybe 2 or 3 more. We'll start to have a conversation. But right now, it's okay. You're like, I don't know.
Especially when, the Patriots do this with every team now 5 weeks in. You're 1 play away from being 4-1 or 2 plays away from being 5-0 in Denver's case. But, man, the Patriots could easily be 4-1. Rhamondre Stevenson fumbling on the way into the end zone against the Steelers. So it's that serious. But, man, they stuck with him. And they kicked the game-winning field goal. It was a fantastic drive by Maye. Those 2 throws set it up. The previous scoring drive that they had too, the scramble drill pass to Stephon Diggs where Maye rolled out. There were some outstanding throws from Drake Maye in this game.
There were. So just on that final drive, genuinely a signature drive for him. You've got the first play we talked about where he turns a dead play, and not just a dead play, but like a negative play. If he gets sacked and they lose 6 yards or whatever on that play, that drive is probably going nowhere. So you're not taking the lead, and you're probably giving Buffalo the chance to take the lead with Josh Allen, the quarterback, at home, the whiteout, blah, blah, blah. So he saves that. Second play, the Hulk shot you talked about, absolute dime, fires it in, needs the arm velocity to get it in there to Diggs. Huge play. And then right at the death, 3rd and 5 from the Buffalo 34, time's ticking down. You want the field goal. You also want to take all the time off the clock, and he's in trouble again. The one thing you can't do is throw the ball away because it stops the clock, right? So he has the presence of mind to realize, I'm in trouble. I need to get back to the line of scrimmage because I can't throw the ball away. And he does that, takes a 0-yard sack, and he's kind of coming to the sideline. And Vrabel's like, no, that's good.
Yeah.
Like, the worst thing you could have done was throw the ball away. And
I was waiting for it. I thought he was trying to find somebody for a touchdown.
Right. That would have been great. But he has the presence of mind not to just throw the ball away, which in every other play is exactly what you want the quarterback to do, right? Realize the play's dead, throw it away, live to fight another day. In this one unique instance, you can't do that. You have to go do something else. And he does. He turns it into a 0-yard gain. So it doesn't lose yardage by taking a sack. So the field goal is still the same, but also keeps the clock running so he can basically chew all the time off.
It allowed them to, take off about 40 seconds, kick the field goal with 20 seconds left. It left Buffalo with, one last kick return hope.
Yeah.
That took up a bunch of time. Then they got you think, all right, well, Josh Allen can still hit one big throw. Maybe you run up and spike it. They were low on time, but they had a penalty on their first play.
But those are three plays on that last drive.
Huge.
That were all massive.
So I thought, it was a huge game for Maye, who'd been playing well this year. Had already been playing well. I think they're doing a good job of setting him up for success, and then he made big-time throws. He hadn't had to make a ton of big-time throws so far this year. But Hunter Henry over the middle, scramble drill to Diggs, cover 2 hole shot. He made some huge throws in this game. I think from a Buffalo perspective, I think you're looking at, obviously, the turnovers, which you don't normally have.
Yeah.
The turnovers, pre-snap penalties, there was just a lot of sloppiness on Buffalo's end. I think New England did a pretty good job on James Cook, bottling up the run game, which had been really effective for Buffalo. I thought other than that, the offense was fine for the Bills, right? You take away some of the mistakes, they were moving the ball. Dalton Kincaid had an awesome game. I love watching Kincaid play this year. Seems like not necessarily maybe a breakout year for Kincaid, but I just think you could have more games where he is heavily relied upon. He had 6 catches for 108. And the Buffalo strategy of spreading the ball around versus high volume to Stephon Diggs, it was interesting seeing those opposing each other in this game. Diggs was unbelievable in this 10 for 146, where Buffalo's the everybody eats philosophy, as they were saying on the broadcast, which has worked fine. But I think it was the turnovers were the big story in this game.
Absolutely. The Bills are now 0-2 against Stephon Diggs since trading him away.
Wow. Diggs is a good pickup. He's over 100 yards for the second straight week, coming off the injury last year, and no one else wanted him. And New England was desperate for a receiver. Mm-hmm. And in a game like this, you see why. Because if you didn't have Stephon Diggs, it's all right, we need more from Kayshon Boutte and the tight ends, and we've got to throw the backs out of the backfield. And they've had games like that. But the last 2 weeks in particular, having the high volume option when you need it is huge, especially when it comes to scramble drills and being in the right place at the right time. And Diggs was doing such a good job of taking quick passes and turning upfield and creating yards after the catch. He was outstanding in this. And it shows the impact of that high-end receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was a huge game for him. He was obviously super motivated for this game, wanting to show Buffalo, wanted to stick it to his old team. You could see just in the interview pre-game how excited for it was. I think the very first play, they threw him a quick screen, tried to get him involved early. Everything was geared to Diggs having a big game, and he did.
The one other thing I wanted to note, I was hoping on the preview show for the discourse, we would see Will Campbell versus Greg Rousseau.
Yeah.
I know Rousseau almost always lines up on the left side against right tackles. But I did say, even just from a Bills perspective, it's the same thing you're saying about Myles Garrett. If the left tackle for New England, Will Campbell, is a rookie who's really been pretty good, but if the one weakness he might have is length and dealing with length, and A.J. Epinesa got him, I think, once maybe with his length, and why not put Rousseau over there a few more times? They didn't do it till the fourth quarter. They put him over there. I think it was a run play and a pass play. I was keeping an eye on it because I was just curious. I want to see this matchup. Why not at least test him with, the long arm of Greg Rousseau? And they didn't do it. And I thought New England's offensive line did a really nice job in pass protection against that Bills pass rush.
Yeah, I do sometimes wonder why teams are more ready to try and take advantage of what appears to be obvious mismatches like that, where they're like, nah, this is how we do things on defense, and we're not going to go crazy moving around to adjust to an offense when there's a weakness. Like teams with, like Pittsburgh, where T.J. Watt lines up basically on the same side the entire time. If you run up against a team with a terrible left tackle, why wouldn't you just, Yeah, sure, T.J. Watt plays on the left side the whole way, but would we not be better off putting him on the right side for this one game where this guy is a liability and we can put a Defensive Player of the Year candidate against him most snaps? I don't understand why the reluctance to do that.
And there's some defenses that do it. The 3-4 structure that Pittsburgh has. I kind of get it. They've always played left and right outside backers, but more 4-3 type teams like Buffalo generally can flip, edge rushers pretty easily, and it's not a big deal. So I don't know. I just think would have been fun to see, but I also think it would have been a potential advantage for Buffalo to create some pressure, right?
That's why it's confusing to me. It seems obvious and teams often are incredibly reluctant to even test it.
See what happens in the next matchup. So, credit the Patriots, man. They're a game back of Buffalo now. Again, these things, they move very quickly. So New England 3-2, we mentioned them before the season as a team. Hey, if they win 6 games or if they win 10 and get into the playoffs, wouldn't be surprised. It's a huge game to show that they can at least compete in the AFC. I don't think you crown them the next AFC East champs here against. I think the Bills are still the better team, but it says a lot about where Vrabel has.
I bet somebody is this morning.
I'm sure.
The shouty shows.
Drake Maye is better than Josh. Let's predict. What are the shouty shows going to be saying this morning? Josh Allen's always been overrated. Do you think Greeny still thinks it's the best quarterback play we've ever seen in the history of the NFL?
That's a blow to Greeny's take. No, I think the focus.
Drake Maye just outplayed Josh Allen on prime time.
I think the focus is going to be the Drake Maye thing. Drake Maye is the next great young quarterback. The Patriots have arrived. Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year. These are the things. It's not going to be focusing on Josh Allen, I don't think.
Which, by the way, isn't a crazy take. I mean, the way Maye played under pressure, the way he's played this entire season, he's looked really good and lived up to what we said. Hey, if you give him a better supporting cast, give him a little bit better pass protection, he should be good, and I think he's lived up to that this year.
Yeah.
Give him a receiver like Stephon Diggs. And we could be saying that, too. The number of times that we've seen a second- or third-year quarterback, Jalen Hurts, Tua, who else had Josh Allen, year 3 got Stephon Diggs. The number of times that
look at what Joe Burrow getting chased at.
Having Chase.
People want to revisit that all the time. Like, it's time to go say they got it wrong with Jamar Chase and Penei Sewell. Like, the problem was not taking Jamar Chase over Penei Sewell, because Jamar Chase came in and immediately completely transformed not just that passing offense, but Joe Burrow. Remember, year 1 of Joe Burrow couldn't complete a deep pass to save his life. And it's like, where's that gone? He was amazing at that in college. And then Jamar Chase comes in. Oh, there it is. There's the deep ball again. The problem was not then backfilling the other spot, right? It's not that you chose Chase over Sewell. It's that you then never found a tackle. That's the problem, not that you took the wrong player. Like, if they had, it would have been equally as bad if they had taken Penei Sewell and then never found a good wide receiver. Right. And suddenly T. Higgins has to be your passing offense, which we saw the year before wasn't good enough, right? So, again, it remains the case that you couldn't have screwed up whichever guy you took. The only way of screwing it up is then not finding the other position.
So if you do go back and look at the jump that young quarterbacks have made, it almost always coincided with having that high-end receiver, right? Mahomes stepped right in with having Tyreek Hill. Tua year 3 got Tyreek. Hurts year 2 or 3 got A.J. Brown. Who else was I? Josh Allen got Stephon Diggs in year 3 during his breakout. So here's Maye with Stephon Diggs in year 2.
Yeah. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.
And the all-knowing algorithm is convinced you'll also like these videos, and who are we to argue?